Buffalo Bills lose another playoff game to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And this is, like their kryptonite. This is a story we've seen every postseason where we see these two teams meet up. Josh Allen, the Bills, it's a classic football game. It's a really good football game down to the wire. But every time the Buffalo Bills, they get tight in the fourth quarter, they just aren't able to capitalize. They aren't able to make enough plays to beat Patrick Mahomes. And really, this Bills team, any team that plays the Chiefs, you have to be perfect down the stretch to beat the Chiefs. You have to, even if you outplay them, you still have to outcoach them. So some capacity, you have to be perfect. And it's tough because Andy Reid, phenomenal head coach. He's going to outcoach your head coach. Defensive coordinator Spags, he's going to outcoach your offensive coordinator. And he's going to be one of the best coaches. He's probably going to be the second best coach on the football field. Just how good he is as a defensive coordinator. And Patrick Mahomes, in the clutch situations when you need to have it, he always gives it. He always gives it to you. And it doesn't matter how good his performance is. His numbers weren't fantastic. Like, he didn't have a fantastic performance. They were still pretty good, but just did enough to win this football game. Other than the first drive of the game, the Chiefs really didn't dominate the Bills in this football game. That first drive looked easy as fuck, but throughout the duration of this game, the Buffalo Bills had an opportunity to win this football game. And like I said, it just comes to capitalizing off moments and just getting conservative in the second half, having, multiple failed 2-point conversions, 1 for 5 on tush-push plays. They should have been 2 for 5, but there's a whole narrative that, the refs are, fixing games for the Chiefs and stuff. And calls are always going to go the Chiefs' way. Yes, 100%. It happens all the time. Like, there's just a lot of calls every game when the Chiefs play that go their way. And it's like, they're very questionable calls, but still in this football game, the Buffalo Bills had opportunities to win this game. Even the last play, 4th and 5, Josh Allen, the blitz comes, and this was a fantastic blitz. It was dialed up perfectly by Spags. It was like set up the whole game. The whole game plan was set up for just this one blitz at the end of the game. That's just how it felt. Trent McDuffie in position to, in position for coverage, and he blitzes, in a matter of seconds and comes free. Rushes Josh Allen. Josh Allen is still able to get the ball off amazingly, and right in the hands of Dalton Kincaid, falls right out of his hands. That's a play that you need to have against the Chiefs. If you want to beat the Chiefs, you need to make the amazing play. Zay Flowers, the fumble at the goal line, this play. You can't have plays like this. Like I said, Spags is perfect in these moments. Patrick Mahomes is perfect in these moments. And Andy Reid is perfect in these moments. You need to be perfect in those moments if you want to beat the Chiefs. If you're not, you're going to beat yourself. You're going to have plays like that. You're going to have plays like the Zay Flowers on the goal line. So it's unfortunate. Josh Allen played pretty well in this game. I do think Joe Brady really got in the way of the success of the Buffalo Bills, especially in the second half. Other than the Matt Collins touchdown, which was a fantastic touchdown, the 4th and goal passing touchdown for Josh Allen to Curtis Samuel, like, other than those big plays, Josh Allen really made those plays to really help the Bills make this game a lot closer. But if you don't have those plays, this offense really does nothing in the second half. And that's a lot part on McDermott, and that's a lot part on Joe Brady. They really called this game very conservative. They weren't aggressive. And against the Chiefs, you need to be aggressive. You need to go for the knockout. You need to be going for it on 4th down. You need to be trick plays. Everything you can do to beat the Chiefs, because they're not going to beat themselves. You hang with them all the second half, and in the fourth quarter, you allow Patrick Mahomes to be great in the fourth quarter. It's over for you. They needed to play this game like they did in the regular season. That 4th down rushing touchdown Josh Allen had, the knockout punch. You need to play like that. You need to be aggressive. And in the playoffs, they just aren't aggressive against the Buffalo Bills when they need to be. And James Cook didn't even touch the ball on the last drive. Really confusing. So Joe Brady, in a big game like this, he really showed his inexperience. The moment was too big for him in terms of play calling. And yeah, James Cook, in order to beat the Chiefs, you need to have more plays like that rushing touchdown James Cook had. like the Matt Collins touchdown. You need to have plays like that to beat the Chiefs. You need everything to go your way because, like I said, they're perfect in the clutch moments. They don't beat themselves. They're not going to give you too many opportunities. Put the game in your hands. Don't allow the refs to cheat you. Don't allow, Patrick Mahomes to get the ball again and them to dictate how the game goes. So you need to take the game to them. Baltimore, Buffalo, they don't do that. And Josh Allen, you got to feel for him. He played really well in this game. He always plays well in the playoffs, especially against Patrick Mahomes. He's 0-4 though right now versus KC. The Bills have averaged 28 points per game, and Allen has 1,300 yards, total yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 turnover, 1 interception. And the Bills in those games have given up 38 points, 42 points, 27 points, 32 points, and an average 34 points in those 4 losses. So it really shows you Josh Allen's going to be great. And it's sad because you see how great he is in the playoffs and just the circumstances, other stuff defensively, not being good enough to get the job done and contain, the Kansas City Chiefs offense and just other stuff like being conservative, not being aggressive, really get in the way of Josh Allen finally getting over the hump. So Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those 2 great quarterbacks, it's just, being in the AFC, it's tough. Joe Burrow surprisingly was the outlier. He was able to beat Patrick Mahomes once. He was able to beat Patrick Mahomes once and go to the Super Bowl. It's just, we see that again. Patrick Mahomes now, you got to look at the greatness he's had. You got to acknowledge how great Patrick Mahomes is. This is like, Tom Brady, the Patriots, Jordan, what he was doing with the Bulls, and he was doing with the Bulls in the Eastern Conference. Like, Patrick Mahomes, 7 years, AFC Championship year 1, won the Super Bowl year 2, lost the Super Bowl year 3, year 4, AFC Championship, year 5, won Super Bowl, year 6, won the Super Bowl, year 7, he's in the Super Bowl this year again. He's in the Super Bowl again. So every year at the very least he's in the AFC Championship game. So having a guy like that, having a guy that dominant, it gets in the way of other dominant great players. And we can't look at those players and be like, your season didn't matter because you didn't get over the hump. Your season didn't matter because you didn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, I feel like the media does a bad job of that. Lamar, you criticize him so much. Josh Allen, you criticize him so much. These great quarterbacks, they play good enough to win the game, and they don't get over the hump, and they're playoff chokers. Lamar especially, Josh Allen, both quarterbacks have had to deal with just the gauntlet it is in the AFC. This conference is so good. Even CJ Stroud and the Texans, with how good they are defensively, the Bengals when they're healthy, they're a tough out in the playoffs. So Lamar and Josh Allen, if those 2 guys were in the NFC, they would be in the Super Bowl. They would rotate being in the Super Bowl every year. They would be in the NFC Championship. We'd see those 2 quarterbacks battle it out every year because it would be crazy. And Lamar, Burrow, they both would be in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. Would they win it? Who knows? Would it feel different? Would they win it? I don't know. Maybe we'll never know, unfortunately. I think Josh Allen and Lamar are great enough. At some point, they're going to get over the hump. I think Lamar gets over there first. But I think those 2 quarterbacks are good enough. They'll get it at some point. Just unfortunately, they just still have to go through Patrick Mahomes every year. This Chiefs team, how they draft consistently, they hit on everything. Karlaftis, great pickup. McDuffie, great pickup. Xavier Worthy seemed like a gadget guy in the beginning, but he showed up big in this playoff game. 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown. He looks more like a productive, quality number 2 option. Him and Rashee Rice, that should be really nice next year. And even with Kelsey on the decline, getting older, he could retire after this. If they win the Super Bowl, he could retire. But they'll still be able to replace Kelsey pretty well, pretty efficiently. They'll probably get the tight end for Bowling Green and just hit on that too. Him and KC would be nasty. Just how good he is, how good he was at Bowling Green this last year. Best tight end in the draft class, I think. Or the Penn State tight end, who knows. But they could replace Kelsey in a heartbeat. Kelsey really didn't do much in this game. 2 catches, 15 yards, 20 yards. So they have enough playmakers. They have the infrastructure. They have the culture. They are just plugging in players. And that's why Trey Smith, will probably see him leave, and they'll be able to replace him. Joe Tooney will play every position on the offensive line, and they'll just add talent through the draft, add free agents, because people are going to want to come and win a championship. So Chiefs are always going to be good. So this dynasty, I don't think it'll ever end. With this Chiefs run, this dynasty that the Chiefs have, you just got to acknowledge the greatness. You just got to appreciate the greatness because we have never seen a team be able to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and I think they have a good shot this year. I'm betting on the Eagles to win this game, but this is just domination. Great domination. It might not be the way you like it, but you just got to acknowledge it. This is fantastic shit we're seeing. This is like Colin Cowherd said, Spags, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, the greatest head coach, quarterback, and defensive coordinator we've ever seen. Spags is a Hall of Fame coach, just as a defensive coordinator. It sucks he probably won't get a head coach opportunity, but he is fantastic. I feel like every game, every big moment the Chiefs have is because of Spags. Every big game, the big moments, when you need a blitz, it always works. I don't know how he always hits on his blitzes. Blitz happy defensive coordinator, but he never gets exposed for it. Like, his blitzes are always timely. They're always perfect. There's always a free rusher, and they make the play every time. Lamar Jackson, they've had success against maybe one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time in football history. Probably is. They have had a successful game plan for him. And Spags and what that defense did to the Baltimore Ravens last AFC Championship game, they won the game because of the defense and Spags. Let's be real. Patrick Mahomes really didn't, like, he was good enough to get the job done. They scored enough points, but that defense really won that game. So you look at Spags, you got to give him his flowers too. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator, the best defensive mind in football, in the NFL. So they're really giving teams a formula too. You want to get offensive mind at head coach and a defensive coordinator that's failed as a head coach that's not going to leave. And that's a blueprint. A lot of teams are trying to create that blueprint. The Bears did that, this offseason with Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. Robert Saleh, Kyle Shanahan. A lot of teams are trying to follow that blueprint, and it's a blueprint that's worked for the Chiefs. And you see, about to be 3 Super Bowls potentially. But yeah, just acknowledge the greatness from the Chiefs. Should be a really good Super Bowl. People are hating on the Super Bowl. This Super Bowl is going to be a classic. The last Super Bowl was 38-35, down to the wire. This is a Super Bowl we'll definitely remember. A great fucking Super Bowl. So I'm excited. Let me know down below who you got in this game. Some early predictions for that. As always, peace. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.